Hello neighbors, it's Brad here from etrailer, and today we are taking a look at the PullRite industry standard rail adapter for GM trucks with the OEM Prep package. This adapter really solves a problem for those of you that have towed a fifth wheel before and have a fifth wheel that you like, but you got yourself a new truck and you went with the OEM Prep package, which I do recommend to a lot of people. I think it's a great option to be able to get a gooseneck and be able to drop in a fifth wheel really easily, but to get rid of your fifth wheel just because it doesn't fit in that OEM Prep package isn't something that you have to do, because adapter rails like this from PullRite do exist. And really all that it does is drop down into those OEM pucks and attaches in with rails that give you ISR standard mounting. So really any fifth wheel that you have will be able to bolt up to your OEM Prep package. It's going to work across the industry with different brands of fifth wheels, so it really doesn't matter which one you have. It's going to work with this. So again, this is really going to just mate what you had with your new truck, and it's going to do it really easily. You'll see there are a lot of pins on this, and that's because it's tool free. It didn't take any tools except for my hands to get this in place, and that also means that taking it out is also super easy. A few things to keep in mind is you are going to need to adhere to the weight capacities not only of the fifth wheel that you have, but also of the rail system. So if you have a 30,000 pound fifth wheel, which there's a few of them out there on the market, you're not going to get all 30,000 pounds out of it, because our system adapter rail here is going to be rated at 25,000 pounds, which I will say covers a good majority of the fifth wheels out there on the market. Your vertical load limit on here is also really good at 6,250 pounds. Most of the 25,000 pound fifth wheels that I've seen come around there, normally about 5,000 pounds. So the main thing is you're not overloading the fifth wheel, the truck, or the adapter rails. So just keep that in mind. Take the lowest number across the board so you stay safe. But really with those ratings, again, I think that'll cover a good majority of the fifth wheels out there. A few other things you're going to want to take in consideration. This is going to raise up where your fifth wheel was mounted. So traditionally your fifth wheel rails sit a little bit over the corrugation, maybe about an inch at best, whereas this does raise it up a little bit. And normally I don't ever really worry that fifth wheels are going to make contact with the tonneau cover. But being that this is going to raise it up, if you're in your highest height setting on your fifth wheel already, you could lower it down because you're going to get that additional height. I still really don't worry too much that you won't be able to use a tonneau cover, but it is something to keep in mind. Now, when you're ready to take out your fifth wheel and get your bed put back to normal open bed, it's super easy to do. You can actually do it a few different ways, but they're all going to require removing the pins that go into that OEM Prep. I've already taken out the other three, and you could simply grab the entire assembly, raise this up and out of the way, which I can do here. And then our pins are as simple as just loosening this up just by hand. We rotate this back, give it a quarter turn, and these will come out. Now, you could also break this down. So, you can keep this assembly like this. That way it's easy to drop in and out. But if you're, kind of crunched for space in your garage and you don't want to store it in this way, you could break this down by simply pulling out all the pins. And then you're going to have 4 individual support brackets and a bunch of pin and clips. But really, it's going to cut down as far as space savings when you are storing it. Now, with that being said, I mentioned it's tool free, lots of pins and clips, but it's really easy to assemble. And we'll take a look at that now. Assembly on this is super easy. First thing, get your caps off your OEM Prep pucks, and we're going to grab the roll pin side of these mounting pins, and the brass will fit into this section. So what we'll do is we feed this in. It can only go in one way, so push it in, and the holes will be front to back. We're just going to do a 90-degree turn, and from here we'll grab that brass fitting while holding the pin and rotate that until it drops in. It should sit flush there. And then our top nut, we're just going to lightly hand tighten this. I'm not going too crazy here, but that's going to kind of keep this in place for us. We'll just get the remaining pins in place. And just making sure that we have those holes still horizontal with the truck bed. And then from here, we're going to grab our support. And this is going to slide over our pins. And then from there, we grab our 1/2-inch pin and clip. And we're just going to run these through. They'll go through the hole and through our pin. So I'm going to have to shimmy this a little bit, but we'll get this passed through. If you drop it in, you can't get the pin to go through. I just threaded this back a little. You can see I have about 2 threads showing on here. So pull the pin up. So we want this up. What I was running into is the pin was too low. But once I adjusted it, this will sit in, and you'll see that the top of this adjustment should sit to where the beveled edge is about flush with the top of here, and that makes it to where putting that pin through should be quite a bit easier. So we'll get our front and back passed through, and then we'll pin these up. With that support in place, we'll just repeat on the other side and get those pinned up. Then we can grab our rails, and when we put these in place, we'll find that we have one side. This is going to be our ISR mounting spot. That obviously needs to face up, but it is going to be important denoting where these holes are. So on one side, I have just a normal circle. On this side, I have an oblong hole. So just when we put these in place, we're going to make sure that we have this oblong hole. Right now it's on the passenger side. When I do my front rail, I'm going to make sure that it's on the same side. So when we drop this in, should be pretty even as far as how much is over here, and it's going to line these holes. So we'll grab our 5/8 pin and clip, pass this through, pin that up, and then we can repeat for the remaining 3 holes. With the assembly all put together, you can grab your 5th wheel, and we're going to drop this into the rails. And then we can pin this up. Overall, a really great way to adapt your previous ISR standard 5th wheel to your OEM Prep package without having to buy a whole nother 5th wheel. If you've owned a PullRite, or you do pick this up and you love it, or if you hate it, either way, leave us a review. That helps us and neighbors like you that are looking around for the proper 5th wheel for their vehicle. Appreciate you joining us for a look at the PullRite industry standard rail adapter for GM trucks with the OEM Prep package.